our channel. I'm Martina.
I'm Tom.
And today we're going to be talking about cosmetics, and specifically the brand Besame. They're located in Southern California, and their business model is researching cosmetics that were made back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And they research the method by which they were made, they research the ingredients that were used, and then they try and reproduce that. And they reproduce lipsticks, mascaras, eyeliners, powders, and they have beautiful packaging. I feel like it's affordable considering the effort that they go through to make the cosmetics, and it's beautiful. It's a great little showpiece if you have a vanity and you want to show something nice. So that's Besame Cosmetics. I don't actually have any of their cosmetics, but I did recently see on their page that they started making perfumes based upon vintage formulas starting with the 1910s. A couple of weeks after they launched the perfumes, they also introduced a sample package of their perfumes where you could get all of the scents that they make from 1910 to 1960 in these little bullets.
That's awesome looking.
And it's $45 for the set.
That's a deal.
Isn't it?
Good way to start out if you're afraid and uninitiated and you're not too sure how it's going to smell. And
of course, I mean, who'd want to go and spend $90 on a perfume if they've never even smelled what it is?
Especially vintage.
Especially that. So I jumped on that immediately. I was so excited when I got that email. So what we thought we would do today is go through each one of the scents and kind of give our opinion on what we feel like that particular decade smells like, and then hopefully in the end come up with a favorite that will then prompt me to purchase a full-size bottle.
So it's in 1910s this way?
Yes.
To
1960.
1960, okay.
Which I just think is so cool.
Well, this one should have little bell bottoms on it then.
So Tom, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're going to go from 1910 all the way to 1960. Yes.
Clear my palate with some wine.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
By the way, happy Halloween, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to apply a little bit of this on a test strip, and I'll give that to you, and then I'll give myself one, and we'll kind of go through and see what we think of it.
Okay.
It screws off, and then it's a roller ball, which I actually thought was pretty cool. I like the idea of that. Isn't that neat? No waste. You're not going to spill it or...
That's the best way to put it on.
Anything crazy like that.
Okay.
So hold on, let me get myself one. And basically I'm using the oil blotting strips for the testers. Okay. So this is 1910. Ready?
Okay, here we go.
Yep. Okay.
It's flowery but a little mild.
Yeah, it has, I will dare say, it's got somewhat of an alcohol undertone.
Which, I guess back then they weren't using any artificial chemicals or, it was all natural or I'm sure animal products and stuff like that, whatever they used to use it.
So I'm picking up a little bit of lavender and maybe some rose.
Yep. Exactly.
How do they describe the scent? So let's see. Okay, those are the ingredients. Okay, never mind. I thought I would have a nice little blurb about each one of them, but I'm not sure. They also gave this little passport-like looking booklet, but that kind of goes through all of their cosmetics. Their lipsticks, which the casings are just beautiful. The packaging is gorgeous. Nice. Cream rouges, cream mascaras. They come with a little spoolie and a tube of mascara. I guess that's how it was done back in the day. Cake mascara, that's basically like a little soap bar of mascara. And again, I guess you would use a little spoolie of that. Vanilla powders. I can tell you that during World War II, when my mother was growing up, there was a shortage. There was a shortage of everything, and cosmetics were no exception to that. And my mother told me that there were times when they would use shoe polish because there was no shortage of that for the military. They would use black shoe polish to actually put on their eyelashes, if you can imagine that.
A little heavy.
Maybe just a little bit. And then they've got the interesting brushes for your face and lip liners, that kind of thing. But no description of what each one of the scents smell like.
Well, how did they get it off at the end of the night?
Who knows? Yeah, so I'm going to stick with lavender and rose as the undertone for this perfume. Definitely immediately right out of the gate, I would say it smells something definitely like what your grandma would wear.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way.
No,
I'm
it's not
saying
it's not overpowering at all.
No, but it's definitely vintage.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on to 1920.
The Roaring Twenties.
The Roaring Twenties, again, a little twist off, which I actually love that idea. I think it's fantastic. Put a little bit on that. Get it going. There's some coffee beans for you, Tom, if you want to like cleanse your scent. Just grab the shot glass and put it up against your nose.
Oh, okay. Oops.
That's right.
Oh, there we go.
And it kind of
it cleans you right out. Otherwise, I'm
resets
gonna have the best smelling nose in town after this.
Okay. So this is
Right.
1920. So I'm gonna say this is a little bit more citrusy.
Yep. A little more of a ting to it.
Right.
A little stronger.
I kind of like this one better, I think. So far, 1920 is my win. I like that.
The other one seems like if you sweat just a little bit, it'll be done with. But this one looks like it will hold a little bit more.
I like it. So 1920
Yep.
so far is my win.
Okay. Have some coffee.
Have some coffee. Let's hope the cats or dogs like coffee beans. I'm kidding. Okay, now we're on to 1930. So there's yours.
Or you can tell that there's a little bit more oiliness to this from the way that it gets applied to the test paper.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep. Okay, this one's spicy.
Spicy, yep.
Right? It's got a spice to it.
And look at the oil. I mean, look how much oil. You know, the sheen on it. There's definitely like a lot of cling to it. Wow.
I will say that there's an undertone of menthol to this one.
Exactly.
So it's like clove and menthol, right?
Well, the 20s. Let's see. Things were booming.
This
So
is 1930s.
Oh, 30s.
Mm-hmm. So absolutely.
So things were booming. So I guess maybe people need a little heavier smell.
Well, I don't know. Wasn't that right after the Depression?
Oh,
So menthol and it makes sense because
makes me feel a little better. I'm not that depressed.
yeah. So 1930, I would say, is almost like Grandma's medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Right?
It's almost like like they're panicking to put that together.
Okay. So
Where'd you learn about the coffee beans?
Actually, back in the 90s, they started doing that in the cosmetics counters where they were
Really?
selling perfumes. Yeah, that's where I picked it up from. Okay, we're on to 1940. So I'm still going to say 1920 so far is my favorite scent.
I would say so as well.
There's 1940.
Ooh.
Okay, now this really is like Grandma. This is almost like the face powders that had sent to them. It's kind of powdery.
Maybe that's because it does smell like your grandma, because that's when
Yeah.
Grandma was being raised up.
I do like this one.
It reminds me of my grandma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
That's
definitely
very flowery.
like a rose and a powder, I would say.
Yeah, powder.
Yeah. I like that one. I might have to do a face-off between this one and 1920 to figure out what my favorite is.
I still like the 20.
1920?
Oh, here, let me clean my other palette. Is everyone having fun? I am.
Okay, now we're going to be moving on to 1950.
50.
1950. So this gets to much more relatable years, probably in terms of styles and
This is when
cosmetics
people were
back
starting to
then.
let their acids hang out in the
This-
50s.
This is the true golden era of when things were just perfect, at least in America. So, 1950. Okay,
Little
that's
flat.
a hard smell. That's a hard.
Yeah. A little more flashier.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
could-
definitely like
Definitely-
violets, or it's definitely flowery. We'll definitely say flowery on that. But
But-
not a rose.
But like a I don't know, tangerine or citrus. Little,
I am not smelling citrus on that one at all.
Wait.
I'm smelling like violets or carnations kind of smells.
That's it.
And a little bit maybe even like incense. Do you smell a tiny bit of incense in there? Like walking into some kind of a
It kind of smells like the beginning of the complicated smelling perfumes. Nothing just so simple.
Right.
You know, today you get everything smells like whatever you want nowadays.
Right.
I think this is the beginning of the big business perfumes.
I might say, I hate to say this, but I think this might be my favorite so far.
Really?
1950. Yeah, I really like
I
it.
still like the 20.
Okay. Cool. This is, for me, a little bit more relatable, I think, is what it is.
I have a really weird feeling I'm going to really like the 60s one, since I'm a child of the 60s.
You are a child of the 60s. So we'll see. Okay, so 1960 now.
Well, not only does it look like perfume being put on there, it also thinks in the 60s here, thanks for the hit of acid.
Okay, 1960 for
Okay.
me. Ready?
Right? Ooh,
Oh, that's a lot of flavor.
Wow.
Lots of scents, right? Going on.
wow.
Woo. It's definitely the strongest out of all
Wow,
of them.
that's really overpowering. That's like if you're not careful, you could give yourself an overdose of this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's how it was back then too, because a lot of people were dulling their senses, so
True.
maybe they made things to compensate for it.
I smell a little bit of the baby powder undertone again.
Yep.
And this maybe brings back the citrus.
I mean, they all definitely smell very vintage. Does this smell like any of your
No,
current
absolutely not.
Chanel or
None
whatever,
of it.
all that stuff?
None of it.
So
None of it.
most of that stuff is like, to me, like a lot of alcohol based, you know. And
I'm gonna continue to. I'm gonna think I'm gonna have to re-smell 20 and 50 for me. Are you still thinking 20?
I'm still thinking 20 right off the bat.
Okay.
I mean,
So let's both.
I
smell
can't
20
personally
again.
wear any of these, but if I had to smell it, I'd say the 20s. From a guy's point of view,
So 1920. Let's try that one again.
they don't do vintage male cologne in their thing yet.
No, they don't. So there's 20.
Okay.
I'll do 20 again too.
I'll give this a fair shot here.
But it's pretty encouraging as a consumer for
I mean-
you to say that we're both pretty much enamored with 1920.
Yeah.
Makes it an easy choice.
But none of these were horrible, I'll tell you that.
No.
They were all very wearable.
Yes. Oh, that does smell good.
This is the 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's the one. I don't even have to smell 50 again. I believe 1920 by far.
Yeah.
That is such a nice smell. It's not at it's not at all overpowering. It's nothing like you're gonna buy today in the stores, but very pleasant, right? It could be something you wear every day.
A really cool idea. How much were those again? $48 for that?
This is $45
$45?
for the entire set, so you could go off and do your own analysis and figure out which one you
And it's
like.
a rollerball. The ball lasts quite a while for you.
Yeah, and I would venture to say that, you know, even if you have an extensive perfume collection, to have one of the more vintage smells would be kind of nice to have. So I'm pretty much set on buying myself the 1920, or maybe I'll get it for Christmas. Who knows? But it's beautiful. So again, the packaging for all of their cosmetics is pretty. I mean, look at how cute that is. When I first opened up the package, I was like, really?
I know, it looks so...
Isn't it pretty?
It looks like...
Their lipsticks look like this too.
It looks like a vintage car part or something
Isn't
like
it
that. It's just really
gorgeous?
cool.
And they actually have the year on each one of the bullets.
I bet it looked like... Was it the packaging they had
Sure.
back then? Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, they definitely do their research to figure out how did they manufacture cosmetics back then, what ingredients did they use, how was it packaged, how did women wear it. and they try and reproduce it as best as possible. When I first heard about this company, they only had a store, not even online yet, in Southern California. And then I was very excited to see them come online with their sales. And recently, within the last month or two, they've announced that they're now sold in Sephora as well. So you can actually go to Sephora and purchase their products.
And try them before you pick it up.
Yes. So it's the Decades of Fragrances. That's the trial package. $45. I do believe that the full size, don't quote me because you can definitely go on their site, but I think it was like $90 for the full size. But it looked like a big bottle. So, and then again, hopefully they've got their scents in Sephora as well, but they definitely have their cosmetics available there now.
Yeah. Well, if we piqued your interest and you guys try it, tell us what your favorite year was.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Give us some ideas on videos that we can do next. I've personally been venturing into the world of foundation, trying to find both drugstore brands and high-end foundations to figure out if I like something other than the Chanel, which is what I wear every time I wear foundation. So I've actually got the Urban Decay coming in, the foundation, concealer, and powder coming in for that. So I'll be kind of testing that out, and let me know if you'd like for me to do a video review of that or anything else.
Make sure to subscribe.
Yes.
Like the video.
Yes.
Spread it around.
Absolutely. And comment down below if you even enjoyed this, because this was kind of a wild shot in the dark to see if it'd be a cool video to do.
I had fun. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Bye.
Bye.